Glenn here in Pennsylvania. Hey, Glenn, how's it going?
Good. How about with you?
Dude, I'm psyched. I'm here with Gayle in the studio live. It's happening. I'm having a great time. So how can we help you out here today, Glenn?
Oh, sure. Today I wanted to talk about macroevolution observation.
Okay.
A lot of, especially religious people, they claim they can't imagine single life forms evolving into complex life forms. Mm-hmm. They can accept microevolution, but not macroevolution. They need observation.
Yeah.
And I feel that you can actually observe this when the sperm uses its tail to swim into an egg until penetration occurs. That's a single cell that merges with another single cell that goes through the entire evolutionary process in an exaggerated and accelerated process, an accelerated rate. And, including having webbed fingers, webbed toes, having a tail in there.
Mm-hmm. Heads, shoulders, knees and toes.
Glenn, I hope are you a science teacher? Maybe, hopefully?
No.
I wish you were, because you took a complex subject and you made it understandable. I wish that, I don't know what you do, but you did a good job explaining that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I also wanted to mention about how the reason that a lot of theists are so upset about evolution is because there's so much proof for it. And they really believe, in my opinion, that if they're wrong about where we came from, they're wrong about where we're going. And it's a lot about death.
And I also think as a formerly religious person, I think it is so connected to the original story. If there is no Adam, there is no fall of man. If there's no fall of man, there's no need for salvation. If there's no salvation, there's no Jesus, and the whole thing falls apart. Mm-hmm. So I think that the resistance to evolution is less about the science and more about hanging the implications to the theology.
So can I chime in there, because that's interesting you say that, because growing up, the first half of my life, I grew up in the Methodist church. And most Methodists, my science teacher went to the Methodist church. The one that taught me evolution went to my church. And so, evolution, and, even as a kid, I was reading dinosaur books that said, dinosaurs were here 65 million years ago. It's just cool. That never... I didn't understand why Christians had such a problem with it, only because I think I was taught the science and it made sense to me. I had always believed in evolution. That was never
that was not our flavor.
But you know what? When you talk about Adam and Eve and the stories and the timeline, I didn't piece that together until much later in my life that, that wouldn't make sense, would it?
Right.
I guess, I had that idea because there is an idea that man is specially created amongst all the animals. And I guess maybe I had an idea, maybe people were just kind of different. Maybe everybody else kind of evolved, but
you were trying to fit it into the
trying
the
to
story.
make it work, for sure. Yeah. But I didn't think super hard about it until someone kind of pointed out, it does kind of fall apart, doesn't it? Huh.
But Glenn, that's why I think religious people are particularly resistant to the theory of evolution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're very lucky. They're able to be blissfully naive. I wish that I could be. My mind won't allow it. I would prefer something to happen after I die, but I realize that doesn't sound right.
Well said.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is interesting that new terms have to be created based on the observed evidence. Now you got macroevolution and microevolution, something that's not actually really used in scientific circles, but it is used in these kind of creationist apologetics. And because we've gotten to the point now where we have so much evidence for these observations that we have to have this whole category for the acceptable kinds of observations and the not acceptable observations, like the ones with other explanations, right? So it is kind of fascinating how people, delineate that, even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's a superior definition and explanation than magic would be.
Sure. Yeah. God can do it. He just can, guys. Come on, just accept it. So, anyway, Glenn, that was kind of a shorter call, but I think you got what you wanted to say, and I'm happy you got to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, macroevolution.
Yeah.
Not a thing. It's just evolution, guys. Get with it. Come on, It's 2019. Okay. We want to move to the future. It's 2019, and more people believe that the Earth is flat than ever. I do, obviously progress is not a linear thing because we're not always getting there. But anyway, Glenn, thanks for calling in. That was a good talk.
Thank you.
Good thought.